guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Regan, and if you are new here, I am an American who lives in France, and every week I make new videos about travel or about France. So if those are two things that interest you, make sure to hit the subscribe button below. So it's been about 6 months since I moved to France. We came here at the end of August, and it's now almost the end of February. And in that time, I have learned, well, let me reverse a little bit. This is not my first time in France. I came to France in fall of 2014 to study abroad, and I absolutely fell in love. And this was a large influence in why we decided to come to France. So, to say the least, moving and living in France is not quite the same as studying abroad in France. So today I want to talk to you about the things that I hate the most about France and the things that I miss the most from the United States. Now, I don't want this video to be a hate fest on France. I don't hate it. There are still things I like. But France is not like this romanticized thing that everyone makes it out to be. So I want to share a little bit of the truth about living in France. So my number one freaking pet peeve about living in France is the French's lack of awareness for personal space. Now, I didn't really realize that this would be something that bothered me until I was put in this situation. In the United States, we have our little personal bubble, and people don't get in that personal bubble. And you think this wouldn't be a problem unless you're just kind of talking to someone directly, but this presents itself as a problem in many parts of your life. Take, for example, going to the grocery store, which is like going into a battlefield. Like, nothing makes sense. People spin their carts everywhere. They'll hit you with their cart. They'll like go directly in front of you with their cart. Like, nothing makes sense. And especially don't go to the grocery store on a busy Saturday because the most annoying thing ever. And, you know, I've been skiing twice recently, and this even goes to like making lines. You'll be waiting to get onto the lift, and the French people, they don't like give you space behind or in front of you. They will literally push their skis onto the back of your skis. Like, and then they just don't even form a line. It's like a mass of ants trying to get into a tiny little hole. So you have this huge bottleneck that would be solved if people just like made lines. And it's not like they're being intentionally rude or anything. I just don't think it's a thing in this culture. Because I saw a mom literally pushing her child on top of our skis the other week. Like, I just don't get it. This is my number one pet peeve. I wish the French would pay attention to the people around them. Number two thing that I cannot stand about France is the bureaucracy. And if you know anyone who has lived here, if you've read a blog about someone who lives here, this is no surprise. You can't be expected to get things done quickly here, and you need to be very persistent, and I don't know, it's just like the most annoying thing. It took me 4 months to get the right to work. And I came over here on a working visa, yet I still had to spend 4 months once I was here to get the right to work. So, and the people who work at the, like, in the local government are like so rude. They make it the least convenient thing for you to do, which brings me to my next point. One of the things I miss the most about the United States is convenience. It doesn't seem to be a thing here in France. It's also really annoying when nothing's open on Sunday. All the banks and all the stores close for 2 hours at lunch. Like, it makes it impossible to get things done because everything is open just during standard working hours. But like, you're at work during standard working hours, and the bank and things take lunch at the same time you take lunch. So like, I do not know how anyone gets anything done here. And then kind of back to bureaucracy, it's like, you're not expected to get something done in one trip. You're expected to go back multiple times and to make multiple trips and spend multiple days. Like, something can't just be solved in one go. And the next thing is just like a common problem with any expat. I really miss familiarity and choices, knowing the choices available in the US. So I grew up in the US. I'm aware of the stores that I go to if I want to buy this, or the stores that I go to if I want to buy that. Whereas in France, I kind of have to start fresh, and like, to do anything is like a ton of research. If I want to buy craft supplies, I have to figure out, do they have craft stores here? What are the craft stores? Oh, they're local, so I need to figure out what the local craft stores are. And it's just like a lot of work because a lot of the stuff isn't on the internet either. France just doesn't seem to see the benefit of putting things online in general. So every place in the US has a website, or every restaurant is on Yelp. And that's just not quite the thing here. So it's very, very difficult to create an evoked set when you are looking to buy something. The next thing I miss is the variety of food. So take into account that I live in a smaller city in France. I don't live in Paris, I don't live in Lyon, though I live close to Lyon, and I don't live in another large city like Bordeaux. So there's not a huge variety of food. And what I mean is there's not a lot of Indian food, it's difficult to find Thai food. Really the only kind of non-French food that I'm guaranteed to find is kebab, which is good, but sometimes I just want something different. I'm so used to in the United States having a plethora of options from many different nationalities. I had the worst Mexican food of my life in Lyon one day when I just wanted some Mexican food to feel at home and to cure my homesickness. So the variety of food that the US has is a major advantage over France. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the language barrier. Now, this is obviously only a problem if you are an expat in a country that doesn't speak your native language. If I was in England or something, this wouldn't be a problem, or if I was in Australia, this wouldn't be a problem. But being in France, there is obviously a language barrier. Now I can speak workable French, but when it comes to official situations and when it comes to researching information, it kind of becomes really annoying that I can't speak better French and that I'm not always sure that I'm understanding things fully. So obviously this is not a super important point, but I really miss being able to speak my native language and understanding that I actually understand what someone is saying to me or what I am reading. So that is it today, guys. I hope this wasn't too big of a rant. If there is something that you can't stand about your country, leave it in the comments below. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.